Welcome to the Single Sidebar Podcast with your host, Dr. Sam I Am. We are elated that you decided to tune into this podcast. We're going to be focusing on 3 areas: health, wealth, and traveling well for singles living in the 21st century. So let me pull you to the side and help you get your life together so that you can maximize your season of singleness. Welcome to another edition of Single Sidebar Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Sam I Am. I am so elated to be with you guys on this evening. And guess what? This is our season finale. Oh my God. I know, I'm about to cry too. This is the final episode for season 1 of Single Sidebar Podcast. But don't be discouraged. We will be back for season 2. And so on this evening, we're going to continue our series on racism within the race. And if you guys tune into our last episode, we were talking to 2 of my dear friends, Lindsay and of course, Allison. If you guys have not viewed, if you have not listened to that episode, I highly suggest that you go back and do so now. And we were talking about the light skin trend, or light skin demic, or whatever you want to call it, the things that women who are deemed light-skinned are actually going through, even with the criticism we receive from our own race. And so now I have 2 of my beautiful former students, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to tell my age, but one actually was my former student in high school when I first started teaching in high school. And the other is my former student at the collegiate level when I was teaching college. Well, I still am. And so tonight we're actually going to talk about the dark skin, okay? And how women who are deemed to be of darker shade are being ridiculed even by those within their own race. And so I'm going to allow the ladies to introduce themselves, and we're going to start off with Miss Jalen.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Jalen. 27 years old, recent graduate, class of 2020, Aggie Pride.
Pride.
And of course, the wonderful doctor here. She was my professor, and while I attended A&T, and it was so funny with her being my professor, because the moment my mother found out, she called me and was like, I know exactly what type of grade you got in her class, and all I'm going to say is you better tighten up. Y'all listen, but she's just wonderful, and I'm happy and amazed to be here today.
Shout out to her mom, my girl Doom. Hey, Doom.
Hey, Mom.
Shantia.
Oh, I'm Shantia. And Dr. Mudawali was my high school teacher, and I just graduated from State Wolfpack Pride.
All right, Wolfpack.
Okay. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right. So, ladies, we're going to start off. The first question I have for you on this evening, and either one of you can start. And so, go back to a time, or if you remember the first time you've ever experienced ridicule or criticism pertaining to your skin color from your own people.
I can't say a time where I actually was ridiculed for my dark skin, but I can remember times where I felt I was casted out because of my dark skin. One of my best friends since high school, actually, her name is Janine, and she's actually soon to be married next year, and I'm going to be in her wedding, so I'm super excited.
Congratulations! Woo-hoo.
And you know, she's actually of lighter complexion, and there have been times where we might be out at a gathering together, an event or a party, and I tend to see her getting more noticed by men than I am. And, you know, not to be funny, but, you know, I start to compare myself to one of my closest friends. And, of course, I don't hold it against her because she is one of my friends, but I definitely do feel like at times when I'm out with her, or even just with my friends that are of lighter complexion, I feel casted out and kind of just pushed in the back because I am dark-skinned. So there have been definitely times where I've honestly felt outcasted by my own people because of darker skin.
I can definitely relate to that. like you said, not directly, but it happens. And also just, like, there's been times in, like, I'm sure they didn't mean any harm by it, but, like, people in my family, I'll hear them say, like, oh, I want to marry, like, a light-skinned person or, like, a white person to have, like, pretty babies. And it's just like, hey, like, I'm your cousin, I'm dark-skinned, you know what I mean? And we've had conversations about it. Like, you have beautiful dark-skinned cousins, like, other than me. Like, does that not, like, ring any bells or make you feel, oh, like, no shade against you guys, like, I just want, like, a light-skinned baby? And we're just like, okay, so what makes you think that light-skinned babies are prettier than darker-skinned babies? And it's just, like, a whole nother level of, like, thought process that they haven't even gone through, and they don't even realize that it's a problem.
Right.
So that's hard in itself.
Yeah. And so for those of you who are not aware where this is actually coming from, Oprah Winfrey actually did a segment called Dark Skin, and it is actually on YouTube. You guys can actually go view it on YouTube, and I'll make sure I put the link, attach a link to this YouTube video so that you all can actually see the documentary. So she did a documentary for light skin, and then she did a documentary for dark skin, and she talked about, so I mean, guys, it was just like mind blowing and mind, I mean, it was just a revelation. And so for someone who's like me, I'm maybe too dark on one end, I'm light on the other. I'm like right in between. I'm the mud. So
You were not a mud.
And I was sharing with the girls on the last episode that, you know, my mom and my sister are actually of lighter complexion. Like, they're really, really light. And I actually have my dad's complexion. And at the times I resented my mom and my sister for being so light skinned, right? Just being honest, y'all, just being honest. And so that was a big thing in my psyche growing up. Like, dang, like, why I ain't get that type of texture hair?
Yeah.
You know? Why wasn't I as light as them? And it's just some things that go through our mind. And then, you know, these societal norms now that you have, like straight hair.
Right.
Let's talk about hair. So I know Jalen wears her hair natural. Shanita has her hair like mine's crocheted. And so let's talk about hair. Is that a big thing within our culture? Like,
So in school, in college, not with you, in college, I did a lot of traveling abroad. I did a semester where I studied abroad, and then I did a service in the Dominican. And so just in thinking, I was like, oh, when I go to Spain, which is where I studied, like, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be the only black person. Like, people are going to be looking at me. It's going to be wild. And I went, and that was the most amazing experience that I've had. And then I went to the Dominican expecting something completely different. And I went with a service group, and it was me, and then it was some lighter skinned dark people, and it was white people. And I wore a wig because I didn't want, like, the humidity, of course, I'm natural, to get to my hair. And the kids were just like, no, I don't want your help. Like, I want their help. Like, literally, like, the lighter skinned people or the white people. And that and I don't want to, like, let that ruin my experience, because I know, in a sense, that they don't know better. So I don't want to fault people who don't know better, because it's what's been ingrained in us. But I've never felt, I guess, like the racism that I felt on that level anywhere before, even in America. And so that was just like, that was mind-blowing for me. I, like, still to this day, I will tell people I never want to go back to the Dominican. And that's really bad. Like, I shouldn't have that thought, but that's how bad I felt while I was there, by people that are people of color. And it was just, I have no words to describe it. Like, it was an experience.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Even when it comes to the different types of hair textures, because, you know, my mom's a beautician. So I remember once I asked her, you know, when she was doing my hair, looking at my curls, I was like, you know, do you think you can tell me the type of curls I had? You know, she told me I'm about a 3C, 4A. So I'm somewhat kind of curly, but some of my curls are also really, really tight. So I'm in and out with good and quote unquote bad curls. But there are times, honestly, when I do my hair, such as the wash and go that I currently have, like, if I see a curl kind of out of flaw or fuzzy, I kind of trip myself out, because even going off of social media on Twitter, you'll see women that'll post themselves with 4C, 4B hair, where their curls are a lot more tighter, a lot more coarse. And, you know, you'll see the comments, you know, oh, you're so beautiful, your hair looks great, blah, blah, blah. But then you'll see those other negative ones that is like, oh, you look like a nappy-headed da-da-da-da-da. She has a crow's nest on her head. You know, this is a whole bush, ragamuffin, XYZ. You know, it's ridiculous. And so it kind of makes you self-conscious of your own hair.
Right.
And there are times where, to be honest, I don't want to deal with my hair. I would rather just walk out the house, let this bit just be matted, and please let me
say
be.
it again. Please, y'all. My mom thinks I am the laziest human being. Like, you have such pretty hair and you don't do it. And I'm like, you do it then. I live with you. Like, you do it. Yes. Every time I wash it, you detangle, you deep condition, you do it, you straighten. This is a 3-hour process. You do it. And I understand.
See,
I understand.
It's gotten to the point where me and my best friend Janine that I mentioned earlier, we were keeping accountability for the last 3 weeks. Like, okay, it's wash day. Did you do your hair? She's like, I mean, it's like 7 o'clock at night. I'm like, girl, I know. Like, you know you ain't going to be done till midnight. You know what, girl? It's okay. We do it tomorrow. We're going to do it tomorrow. Because, you know, it's exhausting and it's a lot. But then, you know, you do kind of go back and forth with, well, what is good hair in the Black community and what is bad hair. But then you have that whole retrospect where, oh, Black women are beautiful all across the board. Right. But then you have that back and forth of, well, 3A is better than 4C. You see what I'm saying? So there's always that back and forth with that.
It is. And I know, like, listening to my example sounds crazy now. The specific example in the Dominican, like I said, I wore a wig, and the girl was like, one of the little girls, I speak Spanish too, so I understood what she was saying. I don't think she knew I understood. But she was like, oh, she's wearing a wig. Like, she doesn't have good hair. And I remember that night calling all my other, the lighter skinned people that was there, they had their natural hair out, but it was kind of like you said, like the looser curls. Yeah. And then it was the white people who had straight hair. So I went home and I remember like calling my mom and I was just like, I should literally take my wig off because I don't have, you know, like I have the looser kind of curls. And I was like, no, like I shouldn't have to feel like my hair makes me beautiful or it doesn't because no matter what my grade of hair is, like, I'm beautiful with or without it. Right. And so I remember having a long conversation with my mom, and I just decided to keep the wig on, which I did the entire trip. Right. But it just blew me because, you know, usually I don't wear wigs. That was my first experience ever wearing a wig. And I can empathize now with other people because I had that experience, and it takes that experience to have to where you understand. But even going back to what you said of just, like, no matter what grade of hair you have, being Black, it always has to be neat. It always you can't have anything out of shape.
But you gotta have edges. You gotta have this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
like.
But people with like the good hair, the curly hair, white people can wear messy buns all the time, and it's cute. But if our hair is out of place in one place, or it's not gelled back or slicked back, or you can
just walk out the house looking like
anything
you look
today.
And don't let you have on a bonnet. Okay, commercial break. Commercial break. Ladies, the bonnet is not a hat. Leave it where it belongs, at your house, in your bedroom. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I did not even know there was different types of, there's 3A, 3B, 4.
Yeah, like
I did not know that.
There
when it comes
are all
to
different
curl
types
patterns.
of curl patterns. Like you have the loose, flawless curls, you know, which is associated with women of lighter color. Then you have the 4C, 4A, 4B, whichever, that's usually associated with women of dark skin color. So
honey, I got a 4A, honey. 4C, 4C.
It's bad because I'm like darker skin, so then I get the like, oh, you have such pretty hair for a dark skinned person.
I've heard that before.
Yep. How my hair supposed to be like? Like, oh, the rest of your family's hair doesn't look like that. Yeah. Like, and I'm just, okay.
But going back to what you said about, you know, wearing a wig, saying when the little girl says you're wearing a wig, that must mean she has bad hair. To be honest, you know, a confession, I even play into that stigmatism. Like, what's my girl's name? And I love her. Oh, my gosh. Cardi B. Oh, my God. Y'all, I'm just say this now. Like, I love Cardi B.
I love Cardi.
She's everything.
I love Cardi.
Cardi, you get all the love today.
Gosh, Cardi is just everything. But because I follow her on Instagram, you know, so I'm used to her seeing her in colorful wigs, you know, down to, you know, her backside, her knees, braids, whichever. But recently she's put up videos and even posts on her Instagram story of how long and beautiful her hair is. Like, Cardi B got some nice hair.
Beautiful
To be honest, when she first came out, I was like, well, she must be another Nicki Minaj. Here we go with the colorful wigs, blah, blah, blah. But once she showed me her real hair, I remember once on her Instagram story, she put up her fro, and y'all, her fro was like out to here. I was like, oh, you have like hair
for
like,
days.
Hair for days. Like,
and
oh my goodness.
It's luscious,
and it's thick and luscious, and it's beautiful. And you know, and to be honest, at times I do associate that with other hip hop artists, women, like, you know, oh, well, she got a wig on, that must mean she ain't got no edges. But 9 times out of 10, it's a protective style, because they're just as natural as we are. But because they're constantly on the go, they can't sit down and take the time like us, you know, 2-3 hours to twist up their hair, because they might be trying to catch, you know, a flight onto the next show or something.
And like what you said earlier and what we all kind of talked about, like, it cannot be out of place if you're going to wear your natural. Like, you have to come correct at all times. And most people don't have, like, in itself, just to sit down, like you said, and do a hairstyle is for 3 hours. So if something goes wrong, it's not like we can just take it back out real quick and then do it up. Like, it takes another 4 or 3 hours to get everything perfected. And a lot of people don't have that time. And so when you do wear natural hair and it's not in place like it's supposed to be, then you get ridiculed.
And then, too, and some women actually with the natural hair do not know which products to use. It's like a trial and error a lot of the times.
I told y'all I was lazy. I will take that. I will take that. I mean, my sister is the hair guru. She watches all the YouTube videos, and so when I wear it natural, she does it. Like, I'll give her that credit. She does my twist outs. If I do a bun or just put it up after I wash it, everything, she does it. And if I do it,
yeah, and even finding the right products. And so there is nothing wrong. Let me put this out. There's nothing wrong wearing a wig, y'all. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of times people do it because we like the what's the word?
Versatility.
Thank you. I don't know. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, y'all. So, excuse my little tongue ties. But we like that. We like to have fun, you know. And like you said, a lot of times it's protective styles. Because I remember, for a lot of people don't know, and I'm actually going to post a picture. I cut my hair off to a buzz cut. Literally shaved your mom, Wendy, and Whitney are the only ones who have seen. And my beautician, Brianna. Brianna also saw it.
To see that.
And so I literally shaved it off, had a fade since October. And I wore a wig ever since then, until I actually was able to grow back my fro. And now I actually do have a fro. And just been getting crochet so I can grow it back out, because I wanted to grow my hair back out. But I just wore it for the protective style. And it's not that I wasn't, at times I wasn't comfortable with it, with the buzz cut, but I know it was necessary for me to get that refreshing of my hair, you know, for my hair to grow back more healthy. And so, yeah, that was good. That was good. Hair is a big thing in our community.
It really is.
And at the end of the day, like, whether you wear it for versatility or a protective style, or if you just don't want to do it, which is me. Like, it doesn't matter, because you should be able to wear your hair however you want to wear your hair without any explanation. And that is what it is.
Yeah, that's why, honestly, I count my blessings that my mom did go to school for cosmetology, because, like I said, at first when the whole natural movement started, I think I was still getting relaxers, and my mom, y'all, I'm going to have to tell y'all now, she is scissor happy. She will cut her hair off at any given moment.
And color it.
And will be like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? But I think I was still getting relaxers. And so by then, she was already, you know, deep into it. And she was trying to persuade me and da-da-da-da. And when I went natural, to be honest, that was probably one of the best decisions I actually did for my hair, because I remember... I don't think I was in your class by then, but I also had a shortcut for about a year, but I had to go back to relaxers just to keep my short hair down. And I remember I was having breakage, like itching, dandruff out the wazoo. And I did just what my mama did. I went to her salon and I said, buzz cut me right now. I said, we're going to start this all over again. And she was like, are you sure? And I told her I want to do it. So she cut it all off. And it was, once again, when I went back to natural, I never went back to relaxers. I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm done with that. So, yeah.
And y'all, it's whatever hair type you have, first off, make sure you go and seek out a professional.
Yes.
Your cousin without a license is not a professional. YouTube, though there are some professionals on there, you're not the professional providing the care. So please make sure you go seek out a professional for whichever end you're the spectrum you're on, whether you're natural, whether you're relaxed. For me, believe it or not, my hair grows better with a relaxer.
Really?
Yeah,
And
so
I
for
was going to
some-
say
yeah,
that,
lines
like,
go, and it's more
I told-
moisturized and it's healthier with a relaxer.
I
versus
feel
being
like the natural movement is good. It really is.
Yeah.
But going back to me, I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. Like, if I'm being realistic, March through September, I usually wear it natural. The rest of the year, I prefer blowouts. My personal preference. I tell people all the time, they're like, I'm not going to fault you for wearing your hair natural, and you shouldn't fault me again for doing whatever I do to my hair, whether it's a blowout or a perm. And most people, because of the grade of my hair, when I get a blowout, it's really, really straight, and it lasts for months. I only have to go like one time every 2 months. So they think like, oh, you got a perm. Don't have to explain to you. But again, what I choose to do with my hair is my decision. And you can have healthy hair and still get perms. Like, I think that that's like very misconstrued. Like, oh, if you get a perm, you're damaging your hair. You can have a perm and it still be healthy.
And that's why it's important for you to go to a professional and get it done. You know, you need to seek out somebody who knows what they're doing. And everybody hair is different, because like my mom, she cut all hers off and now she's natural. It works for her. You know, it just depends, and everybody's different. But I wanted to go back real quick to something you said about the Dominican Republic. And I remember it actually took me back to my trip to Ecuador. And so if you know anything, Ecuador, located in South America, absolutely loved my time that I spent with the people on the river, Santo Domingo de Anzale. And so they were absolutely amazing. But it really disturbed me to see the discrepancy of, because they're the darker complexion individuals, they live at the river, and then within the inner city you have your lighter Hispanics. And it's really, I didn't realize how the Afro Latino, like, that really was a big deal.
Same thing in the Dominican.
It's a big deal. And I mean, and it just baffled me that, you know, that level of discrimination still exists even to today.
Yes. In the schools, when we were there, we helped with the teaching part. I would see the kids pick on the darker skin complexion kids. Same race, all Dominicans.
Wow. And so, ladies, the same question that I asked my girls 2 weeks ago, last episode. I don't know. I think that was 2 weeks ago. I'm tired, y'all. But I'm here. And so, what would you tell your 10-year-old self? If you had to go back in time, what would you tell your 10-year-old self about being Black, being beautiful, being natural, being relaxed, whatever it may be? What would you tell your 10-year-old self?
Oh, just asking me that question, I'm tearing up.
Don't do it, because you make me cry too.
That cry. I'm a big cry baby.
I'm telling you, we all gonna be here crying.
Okay. Okay, y'all. You know what? Come back to me.
I would tell myself, well, you probably, y'all can tell I'm very, what's the word? I'm going to tell you what I think, regardless of what you think. But just then, like, you know, be yourself, and the people who are supposed to be with you and who are for you will be for you and be with you. And they will love you for who you are. And I have traits that people would love to have. I have traits that people, you know, misconstrue their bodies to get. And it could be vice versa, but everybody has something special and beautiful about them. And we have to embrace those things and love them, because this is the only body we'll ever get.
Right.
God knows.
Okay, y'all. Take two. Okay. What I would honestly tell my 10-year-old self is that she's worthy, honestly. Like, one thing that I personally have struggled with is self-esteem and self-worth. And at that age, I don't want to say that I knew what it was, because, you know, I just thought maybe it's a phase. I'll grow out of it, whichever. But it's definitely something that plays in your mind. But I would definitely tell her that she is worthy. Like, She is beautiful, and she is going to go so far and do not settle. Like, oh my goodness. I could go back and tell her everything to this day. Ooh, goodness. I would just tell her she's beautiful and she's worthy. And keep going. Keep your head up. I would definitely tell her that for sure.
Don't settle.
And you are beautiful. I love your hair. It's the same color as mine, which you would be able to see if I didn't have it. Same color as mine. Yeah, like, I love it.
Yeah, you see her with her
Thank
she
you.
has twin sisters. Jalen has twin sisters.
Oh, my
You know what? We should have had Joy and Jessica.
Now, let me tell you something.
They
Listen,
would've torn up.
let me tell you something.
I've
First
always
of all,
wanted a twin.
let me tell you something.
Girl.
Between thing one and thing two, I'm telling you now, I'm glad you would have been sitting in the middle because they would have been talking over each other. Joy, I'm done with you. Stop talking. That's all it would have been. But it would have been good for them too, definitely. But
I love that you call them thing one and thing two. I call my brother the boy. Like, my mom be like, what's your brother doing? I don't know what the boy's doing. Like, the boy. That's what me and my sister call him.
Thing two, freaking frat.
Girl,
Listen.
when I tell you them, ooh, chat. I'm like,
Listen.
Joy and Jessica, if y'all listening to me,
Please get them on the next
y'all in the
yes,
next season.
please get them in the next season.
Y'all too. Oh Lord. Your mama gonna be like in here saying, pray, y'all pray.
My goodness.
And we should actually have another one. It's a whole, like, Instagram thing, and I can't find it. I should have saved it. But, like I said, where they've been talking about colorism in general. And just, like, a lot of the rappers, a lot of the songs, like, interpreting a lot of the meanings if you look at, like, the lyrics to the songs. And how, I guess, it makes you feel special if you date somebody that's light-skinned or that's foreign. And you can kind of see, like, the elevation that they feel like they have made or the progress that they made in life when they start dating a light-skinned person.
And you know what? And that's a topic that has been, like you said, it's something that's even come back up because that's a topic that's been around for a while. But now it's becoming even more prevalent with, the entire Black Lives Movement and, people really taking a second look at what it means to be Black, you know, and even when you talk about a trophy wife, because we talked about that with Lindsay and Allison, and, Allison had made mention about men loving her because she's actually biracial. And so they loving the light skin. She got the Black girl features, but she's, she has that lighter complexion and being that trophy. And she said straight, I'm not your trophy. Like, we're not doing
and
that.
I appreciate that. And I
right.
that.
Yeah. And that's why I said, y'all make sure y'all go back and listen to that episode. Definitely some eye-opening revelations that the ladies brought forward, and even with you two, some of the things that you're saying. And so for the audience on today, if you guys haven't heard, you're worthy. As Jalen said, you are worthy. For my young girls who are listening, all the way to our elderly women who are listening, you are worthy. And men. Don't get it twisted. That this is not just a female issue.
Because I'm about to say it's 110% active in the Black man community.
Yes.
That's all I see. On Twitter, man, let me tell you something. Ooh, you'll see tweets like, "Good morning to the dark-skinned kings," that's on my timeline, and then you'll see another tweet that says, "Good morning to the light-skinned kings," on my timeline. So it's just, it's...
Why can't they just be kings? Why do we have to specify and place the labels?
Child, don't get me to lie. I don't know.
It's a big discussion that's needed, but we all have to do it the same way, some people disagree about how the whole thing with racism should go, but you just have to do it, especially within our community, with, knowing that we're saying it from a place that comes with care and compassion. Like,
love.
I'm not doing it to attack you or to say that I feel like you don't experience racism because you're lighter, because that's not true. But the word privilege in itself means that the complexion of your skin allows you some opportunities that I don't have. It doesn't take away any struggles that you've personally been through. You just may have it a little bit easier than I have, but we still very much have struggles that nobody else can relate to.
And we should be open enough to talk about it and not be so easily offended. Especially if it comes from a place of love. It's you should be open enough to to say it, to care for one another, and not just have the conversation, but come to a resolution.
And if you are saying it and you're attacking somebody or coming off strong, realize that about yourself too. Like, okay, maybe I need to dial it down. Or if you're a light-skinned person that's taking advantage of it, you know, there's some people that do and do feel like they're better than others. Take a step back and do some reflection, and like we're all in this together, y'all.
Yeah,
seriously,
like we are, like, and it should be better than that, and it should all be love, and we have to grow and be better.
I agree.
Yeah. Because remember, there's only one race, the human race.
Child, but listen, at this point, I feel like we're preaching to the choir, because you got this light skin, this dark skin, you got brown skin, and it's just...
And we gotta talk about it. We have got to have this discussion, and I think one of the biggest things is that we need to educate each other.
Yeah, and if you can't talk about it, we're pretending like it doesn't exist, and if you pretend like something doesn't exist, then it's not a problem, and that's you invalidating my problem.
Yeah.
And being a part of the problem at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not willing to learn, to understand, and then to grow. And we definitely have a problem.
Yeah. And it may not have happened to you directly, or you may not be a perpetrator of, you know, the light skin, dark skin thing. But just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Right. And if you see, it's just like bullying.
Yeah.
If you see it happening, hey, like, let's take a step back. Like, why would you tell her that? Why would you tell him that? Why would you say that to that person?
Right. And I mean, listen, don't get it twisted now, because the dark skinned sisters, we definitely can put on, because, I mean, you
Black
know.
of the berry, the sweet of the juice.
Now listen. That's all I'm going to say. Shucks.
That's what they said about the HBCUs. The blacker the knowledge, what is it? The blacker the college, the better the knowledge.
Hey.
I know
Wolfpack
NC
Pride.
State. I know
Wolfpack
NC
Pride.
State.
Masters over here. Doctorate on the way.
Yes,
All
Wolfpack.
Yes. No, but either way it goes, I don't care where you went. At least you went somewhere. You did something, okay? And so Shantia, and then her parting words were talking about the importance of loving yourself. Loving yourself, loving yourself, loving yourself. Yes. I cannot stress that enough, ladies and gentlemen. Loving yourself and knowing your worth. I mean, self-esteem struggles. Everybody here can say that they've struggled with it.
And it's so much harder now. And I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
It's so much harder now, you know, with social media. You know, you have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you know, even little dating sites.
And everybody has an opinion.
Yes, everybody has an opinion about something. And to be honest, I truly hate it for this generation, because, you know, I'm a 90s kid, so the technology pretty much came around when I was in that preteen sort of era age, you know. Both sides of it, you know, and so it's kind of like watching the younger generation just grow up and seeing this is just what life is. Everything is viewed through a box. It's ridiculous. You know, like, I work at Mimi's Cafe, and I'll see parents eating dinner. You know, you see the mom and dad talking to each other, but you got the two kids sitting glued into a little leapfrog pad.
That's a whole conversation, girl,
honey.
They're not getting that interaction that they need to learn the social cues.
And that's
a whole nother conversation.
Oh, that's a whole episode by itself.
Well, let me pull it on back.
And it's the truth, though.
Yeah,
it really is the truth. And then they getting validation instead of getting it from home. They're getting it from the box.
Yep.
And the box is the cell phone.
Yep.
Or the iPad. Or the television. Any one of those boxes, that's where they get their validation from. How many likes did I get? Who put a heart on this? So forth and so on. Nobody wants to be about substance anymore.
And that even goes to I know we're going so off topic.
I know, but I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah. The whole thing with, like, what our celebrities are doing or what they're not doing, and we feel like we're getting validation from that. Like, we shouldn't get validation from, you know, a celebrity saying that, oh, like, black skin is beautiful, light skin is, because you as a parent should be telling your child that, or you as a sibling, an older sibling, should be telling your younger sister that, or your younger brother that. Like, to a certain degree, like, they do have a responsibility to do so, but they don't have to. And it shouldn't be their job to raise our children or to raise any child to feel like they have worth.
Yeah. And that's it. It goes back to us in the family structure. But ladies, I want to thank you all so much for joining us on this evening.
Thank you
for the season finale of Single Sidebar Podcast. Next time we'll talk about being single, because both of them are single, y'all. So I'll put the Instagram and Twitter information out there. Just an FYI.
Ladybug _ Monet. You understand?
Oh no,
that's what it says. LADYBUG _ MONAE.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. That's all I'm trying to say.
And I will put that at the bottom of the video. So yeah, they're single, but y'all they still gotta get, whoever it may be, just know you gotta get vended by me.
Period. Point blank.
Point blank, period.
You gotta come correct.
No
come correct or don't come at all.
We're not having no mess. We're not having no mess.
Right.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you guys back in season 2 of Single Sidebar. Again, I am your host, Dr. Sam. I appreciate you guys tuning in for the last 10 episodes. I can't believe we're over. Woo! 10 episodes in and out. Wow. Oh my gosh. You guys have been such a blessing. I greatly appreciate it. May the blessings of the Lord, which make it rich and added no sorrows, be upon you. May you be blessed. I love you guys. And y'all just have a great evening. Love y'all. And thanks again for coming or listening or watching. Love y'all. Thank you for joining us for today's episode of the Single Sidebar Podcast. It is our hope that you took away something from today's episode that you can immediately apply to your life. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at the Single Sidebar Podcast or at Dr. Sam I Am 1 if you would like to continue the conversation from today. We do hope that you are able to join us for our next episode.